One of the most important factors in having a successful garden is timing and understanding what you can grow in your space. Today, I'm going to focus on how to determine what plants will grow successfully in your garden by understanding your USDA hardiness zone. Hi, I'm Dominique Kinsler, a pharmacist turned gardener in Central Florida. I'm here to help you take the guesswork out of gardening so you can save time, money, and frustration on your gardening journey. Today we're discussing USDA hardiness zones. When you start researching gardening, especially on social media, you'll often hear us gardeners mention our zone. Like, hi, I'm Dominique, and I'm gardening in zone 9B. So what is a hardiness zone and why is that important to you as a gardener? The USDA studies the average lowest temperatures across the United States and divides the country into zones based on those averages. There are 13 zones in total, each separated by a 10-degree difference. Each zone is further divided into A and B subzones that represent a 5-degree difference. The USDA studies these temperature values over multiple decades and releases an updated hardiness zone map every decade or so. The most recent version is from 2023, and many areas have experienced shifts based on climate change and temperature data recorded from 1991 to 2020. A little later in this video, I'll show you exactly where to go to find your current hardiness zone. So why do you, as a gardener, need to know your hardiness zone? Knowing your zone helps to determine what plants can grow successfully in your area. Hardiness zones are especially important when we talk about perennial plants, which are plants that live for multiple years, like fruit trees, shrubs, and many landscape plants. These plants stay in the ground year-round, so they must be able to survive your area's coldest temperatures. Now that's different from an annual plant, which annual plants complete their life cycle one growing season and are replanted each year. Many vegetables are grown as annuals, so while hardiness zones can help provide useful climate context, they're most critical when choosing long-term plants like fruit trees. For example, bananas are typically considered to be a tropical plant, but some varieties have been bred to tolerate colder temperatures. If you live outside of that subtropical or tropical zone and you're looking for a banana to grow, you can look for cold-hardy banana varieties that are better suited for your climate. So when you're shopping at nurseries or ordering plants online, many suppliers will include a description or a plant tag that lists the hardiness zone that plant is best suited for. These zone recommendations are based on the coldest temperatures that plant can survive. For instance, if a plant is labeled that it should be grown in zones 9 through 10 and you live in zone 7, that plant is unlikely to survive winter outdoors planted in the ground in your area, and you may still be able to grow it, but you need to make certain modifications like growing it in a pot and bringing it indoors during the winter so that it can survive. Overall, hardiness zones describe the average lowest temperature in your area and help you determine what plants can grow successfully there. Gardeners use zones as a way to communicate climate, helping others to quickly understand the growing conditions that we're working with. However, it's important to remember that hardiness zones are based on long-term regional averages, and your specific garden might have its own microclimate. So what is a microclimate? It's a small area where growing conditions are slightly different from the surrounding regions. To start identifying your own microclimate, I want you to ask yourself a few simple questions. Number one, does your garden get full sun all day, or is it shaded by trees or buildings? Number two, are you gardening close to a house, fence, pavement, lake, body of water that might hold or reflect heat? Number three, is your space exposed to strong wind or is it protected? And number four, do low areas in your yard collect cold air and frost? These small differences can affect temperature, moisture, and sun exposure, which all influence how plants grow in your space. This is why two gardeners in the same hardiness zone can still experience different growing conditions and results. Understanding your microclimate helps for you to make better decisions about plant placement and expectations in your garden. Now, let me walk you through how to find your hardiness zone. So, in order to determine your USDA hardiness zone, you're first going to navigate over to the web address that you see here on the screen. I'll also have this down below so you can easily click on it. It's going to bring you to this page, which is by the USDA. Now, this is the 2023 USDA hardiness map, which is the most recent one at the time in which I'm recording this video. So once you're on the page, you're going to hit OK on this pop-up, and then you're going to navigate to the top of the screen and type in your zip code. We're going to use a zip code for Houston, Texas, just as an example. You're going to hit the magnifying glass once you type in a zip code, and it's going to bring you the USDA hardiness zone. Now, what you'll notice here is they give you the current zone and the previous one. Remember, the USDA studies the average lowest temperature for a set of years to determine your hardiness zone. So let's start down here at the bottom. You'll see that in 2012, Houston, Texas hardiness zone was 9A, and that is because the average lowest temperature was between 20 to 25 degrees between the years of 1976 to 2005. But if you look at what is current, they studied the years from 1991 to 2020 and determined that Houston is now actually classified as 9B because the average lowest temperatures have gotten a little bit warmer, so they're now between 25 and 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So Houston, Texas is in zone 9B. And this is the easiest way to figure out your USDA hardiness zone. Now that you know your zone, drop it in the comments below and see if you have any garden zone friends here. It's important to understand that hardiness zones tell you what plants can survive winter in your area, but they do not tell you when to actually plant in your garden. That is where frost dates come in, and we'll go over that in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave it down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'll see you in the next video. If you found this video helpful and you want to learn more about gardening, my online course, Grow Your Own Food, is designed to help teach beginners the core skills they need to learn how to garden successfully. It includes structured lessons, principal guides, and a garden planning tool to help you save time and avoid common mistakes. You can find the enrollment information down below. Happy gardening!